Hello, everyone. I am here to talk about a new I Am, Am I, Who Am I single. I'm going to abbreviate it to just I Am and talking about this artist who is a part of a collective. That's where they release their music under this moniker. It is Jonna Lee, who also goes by the independent stage name of Jonna Lee, but in one word and with an I instead of a J for the Swedish pronunciation of her name. And her producer, Claes Björklund, who also goes by Barbell, is an independent artist. Jan Strand is the cinematographer who directs and shoots all of the visuals for the songs that are under the I Am project. It's kind of interesting that, this is being billed as a return after 6 years for I Am I, Who Am I? The last officially labeled I Am record came out in 2014. But Jonna has certainly not been quiet since then. If you follow my channel and you follow Jonna, you know that she's put out actually 2 independent albums, though all of her albums are independent, let's be real, but they all go through her record label, To Whom It May Concern, independent record label she has created. And the 2 albums she put out in 2018 and 2019 were under her stage name instead of her band stage name. So what's the real difference? Well, she was the one pretty much at the helm of pretty much all of the writing and the production, or she was collaborating with others instead of Claes, which is the distinction between I Am's music and Jonna's music. In I Am I's projects, not only is she only working with Claes, but Björklund, but she is also creating a visual for all of the songs on the project, which is something she did for her first 3 I Am records, which I have reviewed all on this channel. I have also reviewed her 2 Jonna Lee solo album debuts, as well as her Quarantine album that came out in 2020, which was sort of like a greatest hits reimagined with some unreleased B-sides in there. So here we are in 2022. Last year, Jonna Lee, under her solo stage name of Jonna Lee, also released a dual-track single, which was one was sung in Swedish and the other was sung in English, called Summer Never Ended, The Damage Was All Mine, which I have also reviewed on this channel. And so we all thought a new album was going to be coming, and probably I said in that video that it could be a year out, like it could be a long time. Samaritan came out a year before Everyone Afraid to Be Forgotten came out. So sometimes with her solo stuff, things can take a while. But instead, we hadn't heard anything since, and then she pops up just this past Friday or Thursday saying, surprise, not only do I have a new I Am I record coming out on June 3rd, which is going to be called Be Here Soon, but we also have the announcement that Jonna herself is pregnant. She is expecting a child, which many have postulated is probably going to be coming out not too long around that time. Possibly that day was picked for that reason. I'm not sure, but she could be due around the beginning of June. As she is sporting a early baby bump in the album cover, which, brings so much emotion to the fore. I mean, Jonna is over 40 years old now. I believe she turned 40 recently. So, it's not like she's too young for this, but it's just sometimes like, I've only been following her for a few years, but you just are like, wow, I never saw her being a mother. And yet at the same time, I'm so happy that she is one. And so it's going to be really interesting to see how that feeds into the framework and the lyricism of this project. Babies have come up as subject matter in her first project titled Bounty. If anyone remembers those visuals, there were images of babies and children in there. So it's kind of a full circle moment here. She says that it was a very raw period of time for her creating this new album, being that she not only was having a new child inside of her, she was working on it for the bulk of it, but Claes was also a new father as well, her collaborator. So it had them really feeling kind of like their world was shifting, and there was tumultuous nature to that, and it made their emotions very primal. Fertile ground to create an album, which normally some people take that time off from creating music. But Jonna Lee never sleeps. She has been quite busy, like I said. Even though her last I Am record technically came out 6 years ago, she has put out quite a lot of music. I wasn't expecting anything coming down the pike. I honestly wasn't. And if I'd known she was having a child, that would have even more made me think, oh, there's no way we're getting new music anytime soon. Forget about it. But here we are. We're getting both at the same time. And so we have the first new song, Don't Wait For Me, which is going to be the first of 10 songs or 10 chapters that are going to be released once per week over the next 10 weeks leading up to June 3rd. Now, her albums have always come out that way when they're part of this I Am collective. So it's been, maybe spaced out a little bit more, maybe 2 weeks between songs or something. It was a little more sporadic, but she would reveal the songs one by one, and every song would get a visual. So we are obviously in for a audiovisual treat here. This is basically going to be a film. And so we are going to be getting a visual for all 10 of these songs. And I do want to just throw this out there. I am not going to be reviewing all 10 of them individually. Don't Wait for Me is the first single, but it's also the announcement single. And so I decided I would film my thoughts to this announcement and this song. And then I will wait until the album comes out on June 3rd to film any more content about this project. So I'm sorry, you will not be seeing me react. There's just too many other videos I want to make in the meantime that it's just, I'd rather save all my thoughts for that final video. So this is the only single that I'm going to be reviewing off of this project. The rest I'll talk about in that full-length video in June. So I'm very excited to go on this journey and get a new song every week, which is a great way to kind of episodically be fed this record. The album cover, I'm going to be honest, it's on the minimalistic side. It's not anything that revelatory or interesting, but it's got these nice kind of just shadows and just contours of her form and figure in white grayscale background, which is kind of just aesthetically, it's a very kind of moody, but kind of dull kind of image. Maybe it fits for the vibe of the record. I mean, I.Am's early records were either a white or black, square. So it wasn't exactly like she was necessarily going high end for the visuals of the album cover. That was relegated to all of the music videos. So her being a little understated and simplistic with this album cover, I can forgive. But it is just, I mean, she seems to have very long extensions, which is giving her, this kind of mother goddess, pagan witch vibe, which again, I hope she channels more into on this project. Don't wait for me. Willows and pines, thrushes and fields won't wait for you. I am right here under your skin, breathing your air. It sounds like she's singing from the perspective of her child who is inside of her, breathing her air with her under her skin. My touch disappeared. It doesn't mean that I am not there, that I am not near, heightening, reaching new tiers. Don't follow me. Places to go, the picture is clear, a different view, and nobody knows. Unclouded by fear, widening frame, at beck and call, saying my name, along the shore, into the free, don't look for me. And in the final verse, head for the coast, a foot off the pier, untied the noose, my keepings are sold, and even the tears, needle with shame, don't let them soak, breaking the waves, songs that we know, sung differently. Don't wait for me. I have a harder time following the narrative here as we get into the third verse, which is to be expected with Jonna's poetic songwriting. I am getting the perspective again of this unborn child, or this essence or spirit that she is sort of postulating postulating from the viewpoint of, as to, the expectation around having a child. Don't follow me, don't look for me, don't wait for me, don't expect something, because you're never going to get the expectations to the level that you would imagine it. You don't want to be disappointed, is what I think I'm getting at here. There's this big mystery that comes with having a new child. And I cannot imagine being a mother and just an expectant mother and going through all of these thoughts and emotions on what is this that I'm carrying inside of me? Is it going to be, just like me, or is it going to be totally different? What emotions is it going to carry within itself? What type of personality is this person going to have? It blows my mind. I'm kind of upset that I'm never going to be able to be pregnant. I'm going to be honest with you. Because as much as it does not sound fun, good Lord, there is something so emotionally primal about being the actual bearer of this being instead of just contributing to it off screen, so to speak. So I must admit, there's always been a small part of me that's been a little jealous of that. And so I think Jonna is going to really dig in deep on ruminations that you might be as an expected mother about what's to come from having this unknown inside of you that you will love unconditionally, but you can't put conditions on it, and you can't expect anything because, you don't control what's to come out. You want everything to go well. You want it to be someone that you can love easily, but you just don't know these things. The great unknown stretches out before her. And so she metaphorically kind of paints that as a landscape. That sort of like being foot off the pier, untying the noose, sort of like the boat is leaving the harbor. That's a little bit more of where I'm going here. I think that this is a wonderful opener for this new project. It is plaintive. It is very focused on the vocal, very focused on this, like I said, plaintive, kind of cautious melody that at points does really get up off its feet in a way that Jonna can showcase her vocals so wonderfully towards the end, while still giving us a slice of electro-produced intrigue, because we have almost sort of like this muffled heartbeat that is very rhythmic and very almost, I would argue it's cardiovascular, because there is something so organic about the sound that's being created. And it's a wonderful sort of electro effect on the production that is underlying everything that, is being sung. And so I think that, again, we're going to get some wonderful electronic production here, but this song is not so much about showing that off. It's a darker track, but it's got also this sort of bluesy, almost jazzy inflection to it. I could almost see a piano coming in, but I'm glad it doesn't, because we're relying so much here on the electro backing that is going to, again, be so transportative. I'm certain it will be. And with the visual, we have her in what appears to be this sort of collection of her past, furniture covered up with white blankets. We have her looking in a mirror, kind of being kind of led out of what her, past was in her mind, as a metaphor for this, and looking at herself and in a very Jonna Lee white kind of raincoaty outfit, kind of beckoning us on this new journey that she's going to be taking. And so I am obviously just seeing all of the symbolism coming back. I'm seeing nods to everything that's so unique to her style of visual Jan Strand cinematography. We have definitely I think, very artistic and very provocative journey ahead of us on this new project, Be Here Soon. And I'm very excited to discuss more about it. So I just wanted to share my thoughts. Again, this might not be my favorite song when the whole album comes out, but as an opener, it really sets the pace. It really opens up the story and the mood and the rawness, which I can tell is going to be very central to the story. So I am very excited to see what's to come. Let me know your thoughts. Are you excited for iamamiwhoami's return? That name is way too hard to say. I'm going to pull a RuPaul with Heidi in Closet and say, you need to shorten that, because this name is just not going to fly. I've always felt that way, but it is what it is. I Am Music being a collective again, I wasn't sure if we were ever going to get music under that name ever again. I thought it was done and dusted. So it's so funny that this is so kind of left field, and I didn't see this coming at all. I don't know if any of us did. But she keeps busy. She keeps busy, and we will have a new baby Jonna in the future too. So I hope you enjoyed this review. Let me know your thoughts. I'll see you all in my review of the album after June 3rd. Leave it there. Hope you have a wonderful, blessed day. Peace, love, and light. Bye.